My name is George,
Hi,
and I am your interviewer.
okay.
So today I'm going to interview you on a little things that I've come to witness with my eyes. So first of all, I would like to get a little introduction about you for the
Okay.
people help me to
M-
know you better.
My name is Timothy. I'm 62 years old. I was born in Nigeria in the north. I have lived and worked in Africa my whole life. Um, 24 years ago, we came to Ghana and we lived in Osu for that entire time. And an opportunity came 4 years ago. And I came and looked at this land and really like this particular spot because of the slope and the fact that we're facing to the north, but we have views to the west, the north, and the east. But overall temperature is probably the one thing. The weather, it gets cold up here. It's much cooler than Accra because there are a lot more trees. So one of our policies for this land is not to cut large trees down at all. Um, and if we do cut one down, we have to plant two, our own rule, in to replace them, so that when we're gone, future generations can actually enjoy large trees, um, because it's a little bit like my childhood. When I grew up in Ibadan in Nigeria, we were surrounded by bush, and that was my playground. There weren't any other houses around, and this is very similar to that. So in some ways, it's allowing me to kind of revisit and enjoy that again, nature and just nature around you. And it really is, it's lovely up here. It's not stressful, it's quiet, it's peaceful, um, and we really, really like it.
Okay. Listening to what you said, you made mention of Ghana,
Hmm.
Nigeria, Osu.
Yeah.
So that means particularly you are part and parcel of the earth.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, I
Ghana.
lived in Lagos, I've lived in Sierra Leone, Cameroon, so sub-Saharan Africa. I think of myself as African.
That's wonderful. So then,
Um,
in quotes, I would have taken that that is the main reason why you decided
hmm.
to build back in Ghana.
Yes.
So, based on the location,
Yeah.
what was your inspiration about why specifically you chose the mountain?
Manfei, it's the reason is it's relative proximity to Accra. If I took a plot in community 17 in Tema, my commute from Accra to Tema will be an hour to an hour and 20 minutes. My commute from Accra to Manfei is an hour and 20 minutes. But the difference between Manfei and Accra is huge. Temperature, prices of food, for instance. It's large pack of two pieces of chicken and rice is 30 cedis at the most expensive place. So it's easier. You can get raw honey. You can get organic chickens. It's all around you. Food, not from supermarkets, but from farmers. So you're getting direct farm to table without having to go through some, and it's wrapped in plastic and cellophane and so on. We can recycle over 90% of our waste here, the plastic bottles, the tin cans, and so on. So the whole idea is not to pollute the environment, but to enhance it. Um, so it gave us an opportunity to integrate ourselves into the landscape, without it being detrimental to the animals that are already here. because we have tortoises, chameleons, monkeys, giant flying squirrels, little anteaters. There's an awful lot of wildlife and so many birds. Um, so there's plenty actually. It doesn't feel like it, but there is a lot of wildlife all around us. A lot. We even have more wildlife here than, for instance, down at Kitase, because it's quite developed now. A lot of houses, a lot of compounds. Here, no. There are no walls. That would be the other thing. There is literally no barrier. You can, as far as you can see, so that feeling of freedom and that massive wide open space is something you can't get in a craft.
Okay. So moving to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any budget in your mind for building?
Not
You know?
really a strict budget. We had an idea of what we wanted to spend, but at that point we hadn't decided on a material. We were looking at the red fired clay bricks, blocks, and so on. And I found the factory by accident. It was raining very, very heavily, and I had just gone through the Latte Junction. And it was so heavy, I stopped. And then I wound my window down and I'm wiping my windows, and I see the red bricks on the other side of the road. So I then waited for the rain to stop, and I walked across and I knocked on the door of the house and I spoke to an old lady and an old gentleman, and that is how I found the bricks, completely by chance. It was like somebody organized for that to happen for me. And the moment I saw the brick, I knew that's the brick I was going to use.
So that means typically you didn't actually have any
Real budget.
budget.
It was
Right?
more about, I work on the basis of that. If I'm looking for furniture, say, I will find one thing that I walk into the store and it's like that one instantly. And then from that, I will build everything else around it. So that the raw material is our brick, and then everything else follows on from that. The natural flooring, the local slate, local wood, as much locally sourced material as possible to reduce travel, etc., and to make it as, you know, I guess, green as we can. It's still a building at the end of the day, but it's more in harmony with its environment than, you know, some of these modern things that you see, which are all glass, and like we have no air conditioning in the design because we don't need it. The brick itself literally provides air conditioning. It gives you temperature control in and of itself. Yeah. So it can be blazing hot out here, and the moment you step inside, you feel the temperature just drop. So it's really like its own air conditioning. It just gives you that. All you need is a little fan just to move a little air, and that's it. It's like if we stand here now and we just come and sit here, we'll be like, okay, we're cool.
So that comes to you bumping up into Interlocking.
Mm-hmm.
So that is coincidentally.
It was totally by chance, and it was not something I had considered, but seeing them instantly, I'm like, that's the brick.
So so far the little encounter you've had with Interlocking, what is your experience about them?
It's only really got better and better. Initially, you're looking at them and go, well, I can stack them, so you know that looks easy. And it takes you a little while to kind of get to grips with them and realize what you can actually do, and how much time and money actually they can save you. So the beauty is kind of what draws you to them, the color, the natural color, the fact that it's really a finished surface already. There's no need to screed or paint this if you don't want to. You can save that money. You could do it at any time later. It wouldn't matter. Um, so initially it's color, and it's that soft sort of natural color. But then you start to realize that, oh, I'm going to use so much less cement, and I don't have to paint. And suddenly you find you're saving tens of thousands of CDs very, very quickly. And you could then, spend that money on the inside, on your tiles, on your bath, on whatever you choose. But it definitely makes it, particularly in this day and age as we face now, a saving of 30 to 35% is huge. And if you just put the figures side by side to somebody and say, okay, choose, then you show them the material, likely they would actually choose the more cost effective option. Um, it's not for everybody, but my firm belief is that a lot of people will come to realize how good these bricks are, how much better they are for the environment. Um, and it's a healthier option, honestly, than a cement block building.
Moving forward to the few questions remaining.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that is doing Interlock Bricks,
Yeah.
which is a building company, what is the experience in them when we talk about the speed of building, the space between, let me say, how are you going to rate them between 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months?
If you're able to lay down all the material you need, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, however many rooms you wish to have, you can do the calculations quite easily, because the dimensions of the bricks are 12 by 4 by 6 inches. So you can very quickly work out how many blocks you're going to need. And if you have them put down and all the bits, you can build, well, as we've just done, 3 rooms, large rooms, in about 10 days. But that would include putting in power points and putting in the trunking for the electrics as well. So if you took that away, I've seen 4 guys lay 450 of these bricks in one day. So it's really how fast do you need to go, and do you have the required amount of material. You can build 1 room in a day if you want to, and you could be putting a roof on it the next day. So it's flexible. You can put down the material just like concrete blocks. There's nothing going to happen to them. And then when you press the go button, it's incredibly fast in comparison to concrete blocks. So what we have stacking up now has no cement in it at this point. Once we're happy with everything, we commit and we pour, and then we're putting the top line of 3 bricks on, and it's ready for a roof. So these 3 rooms will be less than 2 weeks, and we'll already be roofing, which is phenomenally fast compared to concrete. Because with the concrete, that all sets, then you've got to screed it, then you've got to plaster it, and then you've got to paint it.
Okay. So, what is the recommendation about Interlock?
Personally, I would recommend anybody use them, or at least seriously consider them and investigate how much money they could save. You know, they can come to the factory and see, you know, walls made with these bricks. Um, and yeah, I think it would be better for those people, but not just for those people. I think for everybody in Ghana, you know, less concrete is a good thing. More natural materials is a good thing. It's more sustainable. Um, so it really ticks so many different boxes um, that the concrete doesn't. And if you're looking for something a little bit different and a bit softer and a bit more natural, this is a very, very good option. If you're on a slightly tight budget, this is a very, very good option. You can save a lot of money. You can not put in rods if you don't want to. You can just pour concrete and it's still very, very strong. So you can really adapt what you do with these to your budget far more easily than the very traditional concrete block and pillars and beams and so on, which are very fixed in the requirements. This is very flexible. Um, and it allows people to start building very, very quickly if they need to. Get at least one room up, and you've already got the first wall of the next room done. And it's really, really, for me, I have no regrets whatsoever. And if anything, I'm learning new things that are convincing me even further that I made absolutely the right choice.
So then, I think what will be your best experience in Interlocking?
The help that I got at the beginning, in terms of information, videos, pictures, phone call conversations, was far greater than I would have got from the supplier. Like, imagine going to the block factory for cement blocks and going, can you advise me on how I should use them? They will just look at you. You'll get nothing. But these guys care about what they do. They want their clients to enjoy the product and see the finish. So they go an extra mile, which is unusual in this industry, in the building industry. So that will probably be the standout for me, apart from the product itself, which is already standout.
Hey, that's lovely. Mr.
Tim, yeah.
Timothy. Okay, so my last and foremost question, what would be your advice to those that are yet to build, those that want to build? You know, for example, a young guy like me,
Yeah.
I would like to, you know, put up a little family, but I'll also be looking at the money involved, the
Yeah.
cost that I'm going to cost and all this stuff. So what would be your advice to we that we want to build up coming up?
It's never too early or too late to start. That will be number one. You will never finish if you do not start. So even if you're in a position where, say, you can only afford to put 100 CDs to one side per month, buy the bricks, stack them, watch the stack grow. Over time, you'll suddenly reach a point where it's like, oh, I already have more than one room. Let me have two. And you keep putting, you keep putting, you keep putting. And then you have your base material for, say, a 2-room place. Now you're only worried about a bit of wood and what your roofing will be. So start by actually saving a little towards the project ahead of time, well ahead of time, maybe before you've even found somewhere. Get yourself a little patch of land and start. It's never too late or too early. You just need to enter. It's a bit like, you know, the cold water at the beach. It's cold when you first enter, but then you get used to it and you're fine. And it's like there's no good time. It's an expensive, time-consuming thing to do, yes. This makes it a little easier. These definitely help. But yes, start small, but have a plan. Even if you're just putting 50 CDs a month to one side, do it. Never use it for something else. Just by the act of doing this, you cement the fact in your mind, I am going to do this. And if you don't, you never really start. And time just keeps running. And prices, as we know, of everything will increase. So it's just put your foot even small. Start the journey. If you never enter the trotro, you will never reach. That's really it.
Okay, Mr. Timothy, we are very grateful for your time. Like one more thing I will need you to help me with, just a little introduction about how the whole project, the planning, just a little worksheet.
Okay.
And then things good.
Sure.
I'd like you to take me around, just show me a little
Okay.
bit of
We can do that. No problem. This is right at the front of the house. But when we put our little gates in and the deck covers it, it will all be hidden. But if we need to work on it for any reason, it's right here. So we hid the utilities as much as possible and then use that space actually as part of the living space. So it's double function. Having shade, which there is under the deck, also reduces the temperature at the front of the house. One of the reasons for the design being the way it is, and with no windows on the high side, if you like, the easy to reach side, is not just about security, it's also about insects. Because there are a lot, because we're surrounded by bush. So you need to kind of just keep them, particularly in the rainy season, to one side. So for that purpose, we have the center of the house as a paved courtyard. They're running the water pipes and electric pipe will go through, that will all be covered. And then the house comes round the outside of it. So, you know, we can put mosquito coils, we can spray this floor, but we can sit outside, but we're inside the house. Ooh. So and the deck is between us and now, this is the pond and so on. So the garden. So we sit up, we catch the breeze, we get the view, and we look through the trees, we get to watch the clouds. And, you know, when it's raining heavily over on that side, we see the whole light show, the sky's illuminated. So you enjoy nature and what it can provide. The scenery continually changes up here. And you can see straight through the middle of the house. So air can pass literally straight through the middle in either direction. So it's all about ventilation, natural air rather than ACs. So there's no ACs in this design. It's all natural ventilation.
Previously, you said the bricks actually gives you temperature.
They really do. So I don't know if we've got a. Okay. But these have been in the sun, so they're a little warm. But essentially, the air moving through the brick cools the brick. So one of the things we do is the outside we fill, but our inside ones, we don't. The pillar's still here. This is the dressing. But then we put holes lower down in these to allow air to circulate, and these actually get cold.
Wow.
You can notice this when they're delivering the bricks. I realized it from that, because the stack is at the factory, the top brick is in the sun and it's hot. You pick it up and you put it at the bottom and you stack 3 or 4. When you go to pick those bricks here, the bottom one will be cold, and it was a hot brick in the sun when you put it on there. Just the air movement of the journey literally made it, oh, it's quite chilly inside this brick. Just air movement. So that was like, oh, so if I can move air around under here, I can actually lower temperature. and that gives me natural AC, because it's better for you. AC is great, but it's dehydrating you. You have to drink a lot more water, which is a stress on your body. So as you get older, you become more aware of these things, and they become more important to you. Your body's getting frailer, and so on. And I'm still quite fit, and you know, but I still can't. Like, I used to play football all the time, competitively, but now in my 50s even I was doing it. But now in my 60s, yeah, no. Unfortunately, time has come where I have to put my boots up and hang them, and just accept, okay, a little more I can still play golf, I can still play tennis, and non-contact sports. But if you know we're playing and we go for the ball, you have a young ankle, I have an old ankle. So it's simple as that, basically. It's part of getting old, and you have to adjust. But yes, it made me think about all these things. And we're quite warm now. If we walk round and go in the back, you'll feel just how cool the building is. And it's nowhere near what it will be able to do. So yes, it was allowing through breeze in both directions, all about ventilation, combating any dampness. You see, look, like we just stepped into much cooler air. And it's just linking that in and creating that throughout is the aim. And this basically does that, because these are always shaded. So now you can feel.
Yeah, it's warm. It's warm.
It's not hot, no sun's hit it. So it has an ambient, slightly cool temperature. The brick.
One question that just came to my mind on. We don't have concrete or cement in it.
No, there is concrete and cement inside.
No, when we talk about the layers.
Yes. No, there's no. Well, we use clay.
So
termite clay for adjustment.
What is beating my mind based on the question is, for example, let's say there's an earth shake.
Yes.
So being an earth shake, comparing the bricks to the blocks.
Oh, what? Very interesting question. With these, there's a rod in every single of these holes, all the way down, and it is pinned into the ground by about 4 to 6 inches. So instead of, we also have corner columns, but the steel is spread throughout the building. Every brick has 2 columns in it, to a wall made of concrete block versus a wall made of these with the rods and hard cement. This is stronger, because there's nothing holding the concrete blocks together but the screed, nothing else. This is threaded together and they're cross-pinned. So it's far more difficult for these to move than it is for a concrete block to move.
That's wonderful. That means I'm much safer.
Yes.
Than the bricks.
Yeah. And I've only used 10 mm. If you wanted to go on another floor, you could do 14 mm. You could put whatever. It's a straight thing, so you can just cut it with an angle grinder and drop it in, and you're good to go. So it is actually stronger.
Okay, Mr. Timothy, we are so grateful for your time.
Well, thank you.
I think we're going to end our interview here, but we'll be taking a few shots of what is going on.
So I'd encourage you to come back in a few months and have another look.
Definitely come back. I have to be here
and see how it's developing.
When everything